Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The foreign minister and a number of his counterparts in Arab countries affirms their support for Syria's security and unity and the rejection of all foreign interference in its affairs. And several Palestinians are killed and others injured in an Israeli airstrike on Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. Welcome to our news center. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Foreign Minister, held intensive talks over the past 2 days on developments in the situation of Syria with his counterparts from the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, the Kingdom of Bahrain, the Republic of Turkey, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Republic of Iraq, the State of Qatar, the State of Kuwait, the Republic of Lebanon, and the Arab Republic of Egypt, in the context of a unified stance and a joint effort to support the Syrian government in rebuilding its country. The foreign ministers affirmed in a joint statement their support for its security, stability, and sovereignty, and their rejection of all foreign interference in its affairs. They also welcomed the agreement reached to end the crisis in a Sueda governorate and stressed the need to implement it to protect the unity of Syria and its citizens, to stop the shedding of Syrian blood, to ensure the protection of civilians, and to support all efforts to establish security and the rule of law in a Sueda governorate and all Syrian territories, and to reject violence, sectarianism, and attempts to spread discord, incitement, and hatred. The foreign ministers condemned the repeated Israeli attacks on the Syrian Arab Republic, rejecting them as a flagrant violation of international law and a blatant assault on Syria's sovereignty. The foreign ministers called on the international community to support the Syrian government and the reconstruction process, and the Security Council to assume its legal and moral responsibilities to ensure Israel's complete withdrawal from the occupied Syrian territories, the cessation of Israeli hostilities against Syria and interference in its affairs, and the implementation of Resolution 2766 and the 1974 disengagement agreement. The United Nations chief called for unity and respect for sovereignty in Syria.
It's absolutely essential to achieve two things. One is the unity of the Syrian state in the respect of its sovereignty, but with the full integration of the different communities in the state of Syria, and with all communities fully respect and their rights fully respect. The second thing is the need to respect the territorial integrity of Syria. It is for the Syrians to solve the Syrian problem.
In the state of Palestine, 8 people were killed and others injured in an Israeli airstrike on Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. The Palestinian news agency reported that 5 Palestinians, including 3 women and a child, were killed and more than 20 others were injured in an Israeli bombardment targeting tents for displaced people in the Mawasi area of Khan Yunis. The Israeli occupation army artillery fired shells coinciding with heavy gunfire on the eastern, western, and northern areas of Gaza City. Over the past 24 hours, more than 60 Palestinians have been killed in ongoing Israeli raids on the Gaza Strip. Russia announced the killing of 160 Ukrainian soldiers and the capture of 3 new towns on the front lines inside Ukraine. The Russian Ministry of Defense said in a statement that air defense systems shot down 73 Ukrainian drones targeting several areas within Russian territory last night. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appointed former Defense Minister Rustem Umerov as head of the country's National Security and Defense Council today. Umerov will oversee national security matters, focusing on negotiations with Russia. He has previously led Ukraine's delegation in negotiations with Russia in Istanbul. Umerov's tenure as Ukraine's defense minister spanned from September 2023 to July 2025, during which he was involved in significant defense strategies and operations. Heavy monsoon rains killed at least 54 people in eastern Pakistan in 24 hours, bringing the total rain-related deaths in the country to 178 over the past 3 weeks. The Pakistan Meteorological Department said that rainfall has triggered flash floods and inundated several villages as the country experiences 82% more rainfall this month compared to the same period in July of 2024. Forecasters indicated that 54 deaths in the past day occurred in Punjab province, which received 124% more rainfall between July 1st and July 15th than the same period in the previous year. Heavy downpours continued yesterday, flooding streets in several urban areas, including Rawal, Pindi and Lahore. Cloudburst in the Jhelum district in Punjab triggered flash flooding, prompting authorities to use boats to evacuate dozens of people. The National Disaster Management Authority issued an updated flood alert yesterday and urged local officials to remain on high alert. Concerns over declining supplies, coupled with continued uncertainty about the future of global demand in light of U.S. trade policies, led to oil prices stabilizing today following gains recorded in the previous session. Brent crude futures fell 4 cents to $69.48 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell 3 cents to $67.51 a barrel. U.S. tariffs policies expected to become clear in early August have weighed on market sentiment, along with potential plans by some major products or producers to roll back voluntary production cuts, raising concerns about oversupply as the summer demand season draws to a close. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba said today after meeting U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent at his office in Tokyo. Bessent told him that their countries can reach a good deal on tariffs. Ishiba added that while no specific terms were discussed, such as the 25% tariff that U.S. President Donald Trump said he will impose on Japan from August, he asked Bessent to continue active talks with his top tariff negotiator, Ryoshi Akazawa. Akazawa, who also joined the meeting, told reporters that both countries agreed to carry on constructive dialogue. Firefighters of the Spanish Emergency Military Unit battled a wildfire early hours today, which has burned more than 3,000 hectares near Madrid. According to the local authorities, the fire started in the town of Mentreda today, near Toledo in the Castilla in La Mancha region, and strong winds expanded it to the neighboring Madrid region. Authorities said the fire was encircled and that they were looking to control it during the course of the day, adding that more than 40 people who had earlier been evacuated from a residential area were allowed to return. Still to come in our news bulletin. Wadi Darbat, with its stunning nature and innovative services, make a unique destination for visitors to the Dhofar Kharif season. Welcome back to our news center. The Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Environment Authority, participated in the 20th round of the African Ministerial Conference on the Environment, which was held in Nairobi, Kenya. This participation comes as part of the preparatory plan adopted by the presidency of the 7th round of the Assembly within the framework of the principle of partnership with all parties to prepare for the round and ensure its success. It also celebrates the 40th anniversary of the founding of the African Ministerial Conference. The Sultanate of Oman's delegation to the conference was led by His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Ali Al Amri, Chairman of the Environment Authority and President of the 7th round of the United Nations Environment Assembly. With its green landscape and lakes, Wadi Darbat in the Governorate of Dhofar is a favourite destination for visitors during the Kharif season. On the other hand, entrepreneurial projects contribute to enhancement of the tourist experience in Darbat, offering new products and activities that are renewed annually. It is worth noting that Wadi Darbat is about 40 kilometers to the east of the Wilaya of Salalah, as the visitors may enjoy the lake surrounded by mountains and green sceneries, along with a peaceful and rainy atmosphere. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The foreign minister and a number of his counterparts in Arab countries affirmed their support for Syria's security and unity and their rejection of all foreign interference in its affairs. And several Palestinians are killed and others injured in an Israeli airstrike on Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. With that, we do come to the end of tonight's bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it is good night, stay safe and enjoy your weekend.